Hey guys, this is Down Phoenix, and I decided to go ahead and do another vlog. I don't know how everybody thought about the last vlog, but I figured now is a good time. A lot of interesting developments. I haven't really done a lot of let's playing or reviewing or anything like that. I'm sorry if that's the main kind of stuff you guys like to watch, but yeah, I just haven't had the time, or I haven't had the resources, or whatever, have you that you need, or I guess maybe just the patience. I know Let's Plays is pretty much just talking and all that stuff, but I actually do a little editing and everything like that, so that the Let's Play is a little more watchable. Not that Let's Plays are that watchable to begin with, I guess, but yeah, anyways, just want to cover a couple of topics. First of all, I want to talk about tablets, because I got a Blackberry Playbook tablet, and that's actually what I'm recording this video off of right now, and I just want to talk a little bit about it, and tablets in general. Anyways, the Blackberry Playbook tablet, I ended up buying it for $200 during Black Friday. The tablet was originally priced at $500 when it first came out. Actually, it was considered one of the highest priced, or I guess overpriced products of 2011 by PhoneArena.com. And I didn't really understand why. I mean, yeah, $500 might have been too much for this particular product, but the Motorola Zoom was $600. That was actually $100 more than the iPad, and there was no excuse for it. There was no reason Motorola should have priced it that high, and it wasn't on that highest price list. At least this wasn't higher than the iPad. They should have priced it lower from the beginning. They might have had a better chance on building some market share, but BlackBerry isn't going to abandon this, according to them at least. I really hope they don't. As a matter of fact, their next generation smartphones are going to use the same operating system, more or less, as the Playbook, which is really cool because the operating system is arguably the best one that there is for a tablet. The way it does multitasking and the performance and everything like that is freaking awesome. I got Jess a netbook for like $200 a few months ago, and this thing is so much better than the netbook. It's not even crazy. It's not even funny. It's a lot faster. The web browsing is a lot better. The screen resolution's better. It's got better graphics for games and stuff like that. It's just so much better. Obviously a netbook can run a lot more apps, because it's Windows. Windows has a shitload of freaking programs. But other than that, yeah, this even has full flash capabilities. I was actually just doing a Ustream last weekend with Wolf King and Ka, and I was streaming off of this tablet because it's got full flash capabilities, and I'm able to go on Ustream.com and stream in high definition, which is pretty freaking insane. I'm sure you can do that with the Android tablets too, but they were a little bit more pricey. I'll admit that the reason I decided to get this one was because the price was just right. It was perfect price. If the Android tablets would have hit $200 first, at least the good ones. I'm not going to buy one of those cheapo ones. Then that's what I would have went with first. But no, BlackBerry was the first one to do it. Actually, I guess technically HP was the first one to do it when they had the freaking Fire sale and touchpad, which was the most retarded thing that they've ever done, because it was on market for like 40 days. It was on the market for like 6 weeks before they dropped it down to $100. That is just stupid. Why even do that? Maybe they should have priced it a little bit less than iPad. In fact, everybody has had that problem. The only tablet maker that's made an actual competitor to the iPad that actually priced it smartly was Asus, because they priced it at $400, which, yeah, it doesn't have the app support of the iPad, but, it's got everything else. So, $100 less to get everything but the amount of apps. That's fine, especially when you can, consider that, with full flash capabilities and stuff like that, you can do stuff like Facebook apps and stuff like that, web apps that you can't do on the iPad because of its lack of flash capabilities. So, anyways, So, anyways, I want to talk a little bit about the Blackberry Playbook. I've had it for about close to 2 weeks now. I got it like not last Monday, but the Monday before, and I'm really impressed with the actual size of it. I didn't think I'd like a 7-inch tablet. I thought maybe 7-inch is probably a little bit too small, but it's the perfect size. I had a friend; he had an iPad too. And, I really liked it, but I noticed there was a couple of flaws with it. For one, the on-screen keyboard is limited in context. So, like, if, for instance, I wanted to, for instance, in the search box up at the top of the browser, I couldn't just put in, like, a web address or something like that. I had... Or not web address. I couldn't do a search query up on the top, which is retarded because every other browser ever allows you to use the address bar to search also. So that's kind of a flaw. I mean, it's not a huge thing. It's not a game changer. It's not going to kill anything. If you've won an iPad, that's not going to stop you from getting an iPad. I know that. So it shouldn't stop you from an iPad either because that's what you want. That's what you want. That's cool. But, it just had, like, little flaws like that I didn't really care for. Of course, the aforementioned lack of flash capabilities. And Apple wants to downplay the importance of flash on the web. But the matter of fact is that if you want to compare, like, the market share, even though it's not really a market, it's not like... it's not like they're selling the products, But if you want to compare the market share between Flash-enabled websites versus HTML5 enabled websites, it's a freaking joke. Flash, you probably got like 10 Flash websites for every one HTML5 website. But it's starting to shift because a lot of companies seem to cater to Apple for whatever reason. Like Adobe, for instance, pulling out the mobile developments for Flash. I don't know why. Android is currently outselling iPhones 2-1, and it's not. I mean, not just iPhones; it's outselling the iOS platform 2-1. The iPhones and the iPads are selling really awesomely, but when you have like several vendors all coming out on the same unified platform, it's gonna be pretty close. And as a matter of fact, Samsung's actually catching up quite a bit in sales with Apple. And that's just one Android maker. You count HTC and LG and Motorola and everybody else, it's not a crazy wonder why they're ahead. But, of course, having a unified platform like that has its downsides, too. I acknowledge that, obviously the Mac platform and the iOS platform are more stable overall because they have more control over what they do with that platform. And that's all fine and dandy, that's totally cool. I just prefer the more freedom and everything like that. BlackBerry, it's kind of like, they kind of try to do things like Apple, trying to be a closed platform or everything like that. I honestly don't think it's going to work. Like I said, I'm really impressed with the Blackberry Playbook. Like I said, it's got the perfect tablet format. You can type with your thumbs, without having to lift your hand off the edges of the tablet or anything like that. You can't do that on a 9.7 or 10.1 inch tablet. And, there's the Kindle Fire, which is $200, but that thing is a freaking joke. It's actually pretty much a Blackberry Playbook. It's got the same CPU and the same graphics chip. It's got the Texas Instruments OMAP 4 CPU, which is like really good mobile processor. It's really battery efficient and it's really good performance too. But it's got the same graphics chip too. It's like the Power VR SGX 540 or something like that. It's pretty much the same graphics chip as they have in the iPad 2, except a little bit downgraded. It's not as powerful, but it's pretty much the same series otherwise. So, like Infinity Blade 2, for instance, might not run at the full highest settings on something like this, but it would still run pretty good. They might have to do without a couple of the niceties as far as the graphics, but it's got everything else that it needs to really do a good mobile game, or to do 1080p video and everything like that. So it's got all that capability. But, everything else about the Kindle Fire just completely sucks. I know that Amazon's selling it at a loss for $200, but it's really only like a $3 loss, which is... I mean, it's not really that big of a loss, you consider that, like, Microsoft and Sony were selling their Xbox and PlayStations whenever they first came out for, like, $200-300 per system loss. So... it's not that big of a deal, Amazon. $3, big deal. You could have totally put better hardware in it, charged another $50, and it'd been a better tablet. Because, for one, they only put 512 megabytes of RAM in it. I don't know if you guys seen any of the reviews for, like, the Kindle Fire or anything like that. Pretty much universally, all the critics are saying that the performance is inconsistent on the thing, usually it performs okay, but there's a lot of instances where it'll just randomly lag, which, that could be an Android related issue too, because it is based on the Android kernel, the operating system that they use for it. It pretty much is an Android with a skin like the HTC does and all that, for the Android phones. But, and then, of course, Amazon restricts it off, too. They don't have any of the Google apps, so you can't do, like, Android markets, so you have to use their own marketplace. There's no Bluetooth on the thing, so you can't pair it with your phone for, like, a wireless or anything like that. You can't pair, like, a Bluetooth headset to use, like, voice chat or anything like that, which is retarded because it doesn't even have a microphone on it. So you have no way of doing voice communication on it. There's no cameras, which, that's not a big deal on a tablet. It's kind of cool that this tablet has a 1080p capable camera. But it's really not that big of a deal if you think about it in the grander scheme of things, for it to have it. It's nice, but the camera quality, it's not that great. It looks okay. It's certainly good enough for doing a vlog, that's for sure. But it's not that big of a deal to not have a camera. That's okay. And then of course, it only has 8 gigabytes of flash memory. It has no expandable memory of any sort. And some of these apps, are starting to get pretty big. Like, I've downloaded several games on my Playbook that are, 400, 500 megabyte size. Like, they're basically the same games you can get on the iPad. Like Nova 2 and Dead Space and stuff like that. So that's all fine and everything, but I definitely don't recommend getting the Kindle Fire, especially since due to the Kindle Fire's popularity and how well it's selling, it's been forcing the hands of other Android manufacturers to get the prices down on their tablets. Like I heard Asus is now selling the Transformer for only $300 at Best Buy. That's kind of also coupled with the fact that they got a new Transformer tablet that's got a quad-core processor, and it's freaking awesome. But it's everybody else is also going there on their route too. I think Acer's got a sub $300 tablet that's better than the Kindle Fire. Pretty much the Kindle Fire is nicely priced, but you'd be hard pressed not to find a tablet better than that for $200. And even if you do have a hard time finding such a tablet, for only $50 more, you get the Nuke tablet, which has a better screen with better viewing angles. It's got double the memory. It's got the 1 gigabyte of RAM instead of 512, so it doesn't lag like crazy. It doesn't have the crappy Silk browser that Amazon raved up and down about. Pretty much universally lags. You can't use that browser and scroll and get any kind of smooth scrolling on it. And I'm really disappointed because Amazon I really enjoy their products a lot. I haven't bought any of their hardware products, but as far as shopping on the website, the Android App Store that they have, the music store, all that, Kindle, all that good stuff is awesome. It's not a surprise why Amazon is one of, if not the leading online retailer. It's not a surprise at all, because they basically are the Walmart of online retailers. Walmart can't even outdo them online, and that's pretty sad considering that Walmart, is pretty well known for forcing out a lot of companies out of business due to their pricing. So, anyways, actually, like I said, it's not that hard to find a $200 tablet. As a matter of fact, I heard a rumor that the HTC Evo View 4G is going to be $200. I don't know if that's going to be, very soon. I don't know if that's true. But, that's a full Android tablet with the camera and got the stylus and all that good crazy stuff, that you don't have on the Kindle Fire. And then, of course, you can get like an unrestricted something tablet. Like you can get an unrestricted tablet like the Samsung Galaxy Tab for like $200 also. It's not hard to find a good tablet for $200, $300. Only if you're looking for name brand like Apple, or if you're just looking for like the newest ones, or maybe the Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1 or something like that. The 10-inch one is still pricey, but yeah. So that's kind of my little rant on tablets, I guess, for now. I really think that they're the wave of the future. It's you have to think about. You got to think about the future, and a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, they're not the wave of the future. They're a fad." Well, the mouse was considered a fad back in the early '80s, and then of course optical disc drives were considered a fad in the early '90s. MP3s were considered a fad in the early 2000s. Everything is a fad. When it first starts, but it's all about the evolution of technology. It's just more natural and more intuitive to use a touchscreen device rather than using a mouse and keyboard. And, of course, the mouse and keyboard is never going to go away. It might one day, maybe. I doubt it. There's always going to be a need for mouse and keyboard, especially if you need to type quickly. If you do some kind of data entry, or if you're a secretary, or, if you're writing a novel or something of that nature, there's always going to be that need for it. But, technology is always going to constantly evolve, based on intuitiveness, and based on ease of use. Why do you think that video games have moved on to discs? Well, maybe it's because it was easier to make games that operated on CD than cartridges. The game developers didn't have to restrict themselves so much. They can just do what they wanted to as far as using the memory. And of course, eventually games are going to go to downloads and streaming, such as OnLive. As a matter of fact, OnLive just released their tablet app for the iOS and Android platforms, so that you can play console quality games on a tablet. I wish I could do it on this thing. That'd be pretty sweet, but they haven't released a Blackberry Playbook one yet. Yeah, I know. I probably bought the wrong tablet, but it does everything I need to do. I like it for the web surfing and all that good stuff. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, I guess that's all I got to say. How you guys like that chair there? That's all courtesy of the cats. They really tore the hell out of it over several months. So, yeah, I'm probably going to get that replaced soon. So don't mind it too much. Anyways, that guy's Down Phoenix out.